Good afternoon, and welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program.
This program is brought to you by the Southwest TV Translator Association and supported by the Dolores County Broadcasting Network on DCTV.
The News at Noon program is the best assembly of news and local weather for the Four Corners region. Give us your feedback and news alerts at 677-4119.
With all that said, I'm Kendra Cook, and my co-hosts are Kelsey Kiesling and Jerry Tope. And now, for May 4th, 2016, here's the news. As reported in the Cortez Journal, a rural community on the edge of the nation's largest American Indian reservation mourned the death of an 11-year-old girl yesterday as authorities pored over remote stretches of the Navajo Nation in search of the man who abducted her and her younger brother. A stranger kidnapped Ashlyn Mike and her brother Ian after the school bus dropped them off Monday afternoon, authorities and family members say. The man approached them and a third boy, asking them if they wanted to see a movie. The boys said no, but Ashlyn was somehow lured into the man's van. The girl's brother didn't want her sister to go alone, so he went with her, relatives say. Police gleaned some information about the suspect after a passing driver found the boy later on Monday. Scared and in the dark, he had run more than 2 miles to the highway from a desolate spot where the kidnapper had taken the children. He told authorities the man and his sister walked out into the hills, but the man came back alone. Authorities described the kidnapper as a light-skinned Native American in his 20s or 30s with a teardrop tattoo under his left eye and who drove a maroon van with a luggage rack but no hubcaps. Wade acknowledged that some parents are worried about the safety of their children as they go to and from school. Ashlyn lived in the vast reservation's San Juan chapter, a community that has been on edge since word spread that the girl was missing. An Amber Alert was issued around 2:30 a.m. Tuesday. It wasn't clear why it took hours for authorities to get word out about the abduction. The search for the girl included federal, tribal, state, and county officers on the ground, as well as a New Mexico State Police helicopter. About 70 or 80 residents also fanned out across the area where the girl's body was found. Jesse Del Mar, a public safety director for the Navajo Nation, said the girl's body was found in a secluded area south of the distinct rock formation that the town of Shiprock is named for. And now, just breaking news from the New Mexico NBC affiliate. According to the FBI, a man has been arrested in the abduction and death of the 11-year-old girl whose body was found on Navajo Nation land in New Mexico. The arrest was made hours after the FBI pledged to leave no stone unturned in the hunt for whoever abducted Ashlyn Mike, the FBI said. Tom Begay, 27, of Waterflow, New Mexico, was arrested late Tuesday and is due to appear in court today, Wednesday. The FBI said further details were not immediately released.
According to the Cortez Journal, more than 500 Fort Lewis College graduates likely opened the door Saturday to higher salaries and higher rates of personal satisfaction. While there are no guarantees in life, Colorado Lieutenant Governor Joe Garcia told the students during graduation in Wayland Gymnasium that completing their degrees can help lead to a fuller and richer life. College is not a guarantee of anything, but it is still the greatest equalizer, he said. Those with college degrees earn median incomes 75% higher over the course of their lifetime than people who do not complete a degree, he said. He also lauded the college for attracting many Native American and first-generation graduates. The college has launched several programs in recent years to make sure students who start at FLC have the support they need to finish, and school officials hope to see this reflected in graduation rates in the coming years.
Reported in the Cortez Journal, in a video released Tuesday, the Ute Mountain Ute Tribe and Grand Canyon Trust claim that the White Mesa Uranium Mill in southeast Utah puts local water sources at risk of contamination. The 36-year-old mill is the only conventional uranium mill operating in the country. It also borders the White Mesa community, a satellite reservation of the Ute Mountain Ute Reservation. Named Half-Life, the story of America's last uranium mill, the video states that insufficient liners under the mill's older waste containment ponds threaten water aquifers and could migrate to local springs relied on by the tribe, local cities, livestock, plants, and wildlife. Colin Larrick, a water quality specialist with the Ute Mountain Ute Tribe, said seeps and springs are the only water sources in the area, and the concern is that radioactive toxic waste from tailing cell impoundments will migrate down and find its way to these springs. Springs. There are 2 aquifers underneath the tailing ponds. A perched aquifer in the Burrow Canyon Formation is 100 feet under surface and feeds local springs. The deeper Navajo aquifer lies 1,200 feet below the surface and supplies drinking water for the towns of Blanding, White Mesa, Bluff, Tuba City, and Hopi villages, according to the film. Groundwater in the area flows south from the uranium mill towards the White Mesa community. To date, no contamination has reached any of the 4 springs regularly monitored by the tribe. But in the video, the tribe says there is growing evidence of a heavy metal plume migrating towards the springs. 3 of the mill's waste impoundment ponds were built in the early 1980s and are a suspected cause, according to the video. The so-called legacy impoundments use a 30mm PVC liner that the Grand Canyon Trust and tribe claim are in poor condition, with one having documented leaks. Larrick said the liners at the bottom of the impoundments have a useful life of 20 years and are in direct contact with the perched aquifer 100 feet below the surface. Other waste containment ponds at the mill are more modern and use double liners that are 60mm each with a system for leak detection. The White Mesa mill processes uranium ore into yellowcake that is then shipped and made into fuel rods for nuclear power plants. But it also processes low-grade radioactive materials from federal atomic testing facilities and industrial sites across the country. In the early 90s, industry and the U.S. government cooked up the idea to send these radioactive waste dumps to White Mesa. The ore and feeder wastes are milled for uranium, and waste material is stored in the containment ponds. To view the video, go to www.grandcanyontrust.org.
According to the Cortez Journal, citizen and environmental groups are calling for transparency and a new environmental impact statement for prospective shale oil and gas development on the Southern Ute Indian Reservation. Last month, the tribe announced plans to conduct a supplemental environmental impact statement for an existing EIS on natural resource extraction on the northern edge of the San Juan Basin. But because previous studies do not specifically address horizontally drilled hydraulic fracturing, the San Juan Citizens Alliance, Earthworks, Center for Biological Diversity, and Wild Earth Guardians say a standalone EIS is warranted. We're talking about extraction techniques that are much more energy intensive, produce greater emissions, and pose greater risks to the region's geology and hydrology, said Jeremy Nichols, Climate and Energy Program Director for Wild Earth Guardians. The paradox, Mancos and Lewis Shale would be fracked for natural gas. The Niobrara Shale, which is a layer within the Mancos Shale in this region, would be drilled for oil, increasing the number of La Plata County wells by as much as 33%. The proposed action would allow for as many as 1,500 wells, 353 well pads, fluid management facilities, 83 miles of new roads, and 600 miles of pipeline to be developed over 20 years. Tribe officials presented the idea as a development strictly on tribal lands. But because the project area is a checkerboard of tribal, private, and federal ownership, some of it split estate, the line between tribe and public interest is ambiguous. In a 93-page document, the 4 groups call for additional public meetings throughout the affected region and a development timeline, as well as surface water, groundwater, and air analysis.
And from the Durango Herald regarding the Gold King mine again. An additional $600,000 has been set aside by the EPA for a real-time warning system that will be installed in the Animas and San Juan rivers that would alert local governments to pollution. Sean McGrath, the Region 8 administrator, told the Durango City Council on Tuesday EPA had set aside $2 million for water and sediment monitoring, but that was found to be inadequate. States and tribes will use the additional funds for a system they started collaborating on in February. There is no timeline for the additional warning system to be installed. A total of $465,000 was allocated to the state of Colorado. Senator Michael Bennet, Senator Cory Gardner, and U.S. Representative Scott Tipton have pushed for additional funding to provide better data to communities along the Animas and San Juan watersheds, according to a news release. In the event of another acidic mined wastewater spill, like the 3 million gallon released by the EPA on August 5th of 2015, the system will ensure downstream communities wouldn't have to wait for a person to inform them of the emergency. There are 30 testing locations along the Animas, San Juan, and Colorado rivers. The EPA is also considering additional reimbursements to the local governments, including the city and La Plata County. State, local, and tribal governments have received $881,000+ in reimbursement. The city has been promised $2,471 to cover a tour city councilors took related to Superfund designation. But the city has asked for about $5.7 million in compensation over the next 15 years, which would include the amount spent on the immediate response and ongoing monitoring of river health.
According to the Durango Herald, the Betcher Foundation on Thursday announced a gift of $150,000 to Fort Lewis College for its new Geosciences, Physics, and Engineering Hall. While the building is funded primarily by the state, the college is on the hook to raise $4 million for the project. The Betcher gift takes it over the halfway mark towards the goal. The gift is part of $1 million Betcher is distributing to higher education institutions around the state. Other recipients included Colorado Mountain College, the U.S. Air Force Academy, University of Northern Colorado, and Western State Colorado University. The foundation also gave $175,000 to the Qualistar Colorado Capital Fund to support early childhood learning centers. Colorado's educational institutions are critically important not only for their role in preparing students for the future, said Tim Schultz, president and executive director of the foundation, but also for the role they play in connecting our communities. The Geosciences, Physics, and Engineering Hall is scheduled to open in late fall. And now, here's our weather report.
Another beautiful day here in our forecast area, and tomorrow will begin clear and warm and dry with some wind gusts in the afternoon. Then through the night and into Friday, chances of precipitation begin for the lower valleys. Today, there are expected to be some isolated showers over the San Juans and the Continental Divide. Tomorrow, we'll see light chances over the mountains. The forecast high temperature for tomorrow has been raised a few more degrees, and it's expected to be our warmest day of the year so far at 83 degrees. The low pressure nearing Southern California is pushing the nice high pressure system that we felt yesterday and today to our east and has begun to alter the patterns to the east and south of it as predicted. So chances of precip are holding steady for late Thursday night, Friday, and onward through the weekend. Snow impacts are expected to be very light at elevations of near 10,000 feet. No crop-threatening freezing temps are expected as things cool through the weekend. A cold low-pressure system off the mid-Atlantic coast and extending south of Florida will bring rain and thunderstorms to much of the East Coast today. Some thunderstorms may be severe across eastern portions of South Florida, and the Storm Prediction Center is forecasting a slight risk of severe thunderstorms. Heavy rainfall of 1 to 2 inches is possible across much of the central and southern Florida peninsula. A second low-pressure system is quickly crossing the Great Lakes today, bringing showers and thunderstorms to the lower Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and central Appalachians. This system will reach the mid-Atlantic states tonight into Thursday with another round of showers and thunderstorms for that area. This area of low pressure is forecast to linger off the southern mid-Atlantic coast into Friday evening, keeping rain in the picture for much of the mid-Atlantic states area. This system will bring cooler temperatures to much of the eastern half of the country, with temperatures 10 to 20 degrees below average for some areas today and Thursday. High pressure aloft will keep above average temperatures in place today for the interior Pacific Northwest of the Northern Plains, where temperatures are expected to be 15 to 25 degrees above average. These warm temperatures will expand east into portions of the upper Midwest by tomorrow. The front gradually moving into the western U.S. through the end of the week is a slow mover that will bring scattered showers and thunderstorms to much of the central and northern west coast states today, reaching our forecast area Thursday and Friday. In our 5-day forecast, it calls for tomorrow to be our warmest day so far, again 83 degrees, then cooling by 10 degrees for Thursday and almost another 15 degrees cooler than that for Saturday, with temperatures hovering just under and over the 60s mark for the weekend and Monday. Thursday night's low at 46, and the next 4 nights in the mid-30s. Windy and gusty tomorrow afternoon, followed by 4.5 days of showers and thunderstorms. The heaviest precip is expected Sunday afternoon at near 1/4 of an inch, and about half that amount for the following day, Monday. Now back to the news.
According to the Cortez Journal, Manaw elementary students and parents stepped into the school and into a different world Thursday night. The school was decked out in rainforest scenery for the school's 3rd annual Spring Fling. Parents are invited to the end of year event to see what their children have studied throughout the year. Manaw Principal Donetta Jones said the school staff started hosting the event to get more parents involved. Teachers and staff worked to incorporate education standards into a rainforest theme, Jones said. As a district, RE1 is moving toward the 21st century learning model of education, which emphasizes application and experience to develop student skills. Also Thursday, about 12 gifted and talented students from all 4 RE1 elementary schools presented independent study projects they had worked on during the school year. The students, who are in grades 3 to 5, picked a subject they were interested in and presented a report, said RE1 project teacher on special assignment Bernadette Espinoza. The students presented on subjects such as Beethoven, the Wright brothers, and Harry Potter. Some of the students dressed up in costume as the people they were reporting on. As individual independent study projects, the students were able to take on a task outside a school setting, Espinoza said.
According to the Cortez Journal, a Cortez man's fight over his lawn came to an end Monday as a municipal judge ruled against his favor. Joe James, who lives on South Madison Street, was cited in June by Cortez Code Enforcement Officer Robert Linville for a code violation. James was instructed to put up a privacy fence that obstructed the public's view of his backyard. James constructed the fence, and the case was closed in August. However, in October, then interim building director Sam Proffer reopened the city's case against James when he discovered James had taken down the fence. At a trial Monday before municipal judge James Shaner, James insisted Linville and Proffer had trespassed on his property in order to obtain evidence. He said they walked down his driveway past numerous no trespassing signs and taken photos of his backyard. James told Shaner during his testimony, "You can't break the law to enforce it, supposedly. I'd have stuff in my yard for 32 years and I've never had a complaint until Bobby Lawn Cop shows up and thinks he's going to save the city of Cortez." End quote. The trial Monday stemmed from the October reopening of the case and did not involve pictures taken by Linville. Proffer, who is now city director of planning and building, said he took photos using a smartphone and was standing on the street adjacent to the sidewalk when he took the photos. He said he used his camera's zoom lens when taking the photos. James said he was not told how long he was required to have the fence in place. He didn't like the fence, so he took it down. Proffer said the car parts and other items in James's backyard represented an accumulation of junk, which is a violation of city codes. He said James's yard would be referred to as a junk or storage yard if it was in a different location, but junk and storage yards are not allowed in the neighborhood where James resides. Though Shaner said he did not condone any action by a city employee, he ruled in favor of the city, saying that the items in James's yard fit into the city's definition of junk. City Attorney Mike Green said the city just wanted to see the fence put back up. Shaner handed James a suspended $500 fine, which James would be required to pay if he did not put the fence back up within 20 days. An additional $500 fine would be added for every 30 days James continued not to put up the fence. Outside City Hall, after the ruling, James said he planned to reconstruct the fence, which would take him about a half hour.
According to the Cortez Journal, 3 Fort Lewis College professors will spread across the globe over the next year as they pursue the opportunities made available to them as Fulbright scholars. It's quite the honor for such a small school to have 3 Fulbright scholars, FLC Board of Trustees member Tom Schilling said. Justin McBrayer, Associate Professor of Philosophy, is headed to Innsbruck, Austria to research the origins and rationality of religious beliefs. I'll be looking at empirical evidence, evolutionary biology, and the cognitive science of biology, he said. I'll be teaching the same topic to graduate students at the University of Innsbruck, and they're going to be my guinea pigs thinking through interesting issues with me, he said. The Fulbright Scholar Program is run by the U.S. Department of State Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs. It offers opportunities to research and teach in more than 125 countries and is open not only to college and university faculty, but for other professionals including artists, journalists, scientists, lawyers, and independent scholars. The award is accompanied by funding for travel and living expenses to make a foreign stay economically feasible. The 3 Fulbright scholars are Justin McBrayer, Ross McCauley, and Nancy Cardona.
Both in Wacky Wednesday news and another reason why people enjoy the quiet life of Southwest Colorado versus the lifestyles in and around Denver, here's a story from the Coloradan from Fort Collins. Colorado State University is urging students to keep their clothes on. In an at times scathing campus-wide email, CSU officials on Tuesday denounced the popular end-of-semester undie run that congregates scantily clad college students in the name of charity. Citing shortcomings with the event organization, past faux pas, and concerns about sexual harassment and public safety, the school pleaded for students to steer clear of the event or risk police intervention. Recently dubbed the Body Acceptance Run Extravaganza, aka BEAR, the event is typically held the weekend before spring semester final exams, which are next week. It is not authorized by the university, and students who tried to organize this year's run did not get appropriate insurance, CSU said. The university said the unsanctioned event has cost CSU about $15,000 each year. That includes fixing damaged property, providing additional security, and cleaning up the discarded clothing that runners leave at the starting line after attendees strip to their skivvies and scamper across campus. Past year's runs have erupted into raucous gatherings in the CSU Morgan Library, and YouTube videos dating to 2009 show how the event has ballooned from a few hundred to several thousand attendees. Officials discredited the charity aspect of the run, especially during recent years. In 2014, 22% of the 7,700 pounds of left behind clothing was actually donated. The rest was not in any condition to be accepted by charity, CSU said. And in 2015, nearly all of the rain-soaked discarded garb was taken to the landfill, not charity, because of mold concerns. Any discarded clothing this year will have a fast pass to the trash. I wonder if the movie from 2006 called American Pie: The Naked Mile, which features a clothing optional run on a college campus, was any type of inspiration or perhaps predictive programming.
And now the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of April 25th through May 1st. Papers were served to a local resident to appear for a contempt of court charge for failing to report to jury duty. A deputy responded to a motorist report of a driver who was swerving. Ferris El Yazi was subsequently charged with DUI and failure to maintain single lane. A single vehicle non-injury rollover accident with damage was reported on Highway 145. Deputies responded and are currently investigating a report of suspicious incidents in town. That's it for this week's Roundup. Stay tuned next week for more updates.
In today's High Country happenings, May 14th, a week from Saturday, the Cortez Post Office will be participating in the 24th Annual National Association of Letter Carriers Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive. All donated food will be given to the local Good Samaritan Food Pantry. For more details, go online to www.nalc.org/food. May 6th, this Friday, Blondie's Beach Party will have live music by State 38, 8 p.m. to midnight at Blondie's Trophy Room in Cortez. There's no cover and all ages are welcome until 10 p.m. when the Hot Body Contest will start at 10:30. For more details on that, call 739-4944. And May 5th, Thursday, is Cinco de Mayo, and it will be celebrated at the State Line Bar and Grill in Dolores County on Highway 491. You can enjoy an all-you-can-eat Mexican food buffet with homemade enchiladas, carne asada, chicken tacos, Mexican corn, rice, beans, chips, pico, and Mexican fruit cup. Oh my, well now I am hungry. Bar specials are 21-ounce Coronitas, frozen margaritas, and tequila sunrises, and all this starts at Thursday at 5 p.m. All of the event info presented here is also available at the DCTV News at Noon Facebook page. Please let us know your event by sending an email to dcpnnews@gmail.com or call the station at 677-4119.
Again, thanks for tuning in. This program is aired live at noon and rebroadcast at 2:30 and 8 p.m. on Channel 32.1 Dolores County, on Channel 30.4 in Montezuma County, and their cable Channel 5.
And you can also rewatch the broadcast on YouTube. Search DCTV News at Noon, and please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And don't forget, next Tuesday is Talk Tuesday, May 10th, the live call-in show allowing your community voice to be heard. We will have an in-studio guest representing the Red Cross, and we will be discussing community preparedness, so be sure to tune in and hopefully call in too.
For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and all those who are working to bring you DCTV and the News at Noon program from Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling, and may the 4th be with you.